Salam al-Masih. God bless each and every one of you. Now, before we get too far into this live stream, what I need to do is go over to Facebook and go to my live, mute it, and I have to open it to the public. I have to open up a new page. So now that's opened up. Everything's ready to go. It is now about to start the live stream, y'all. Y'all know what we're about to do. We're about to play the original Quran only Christian theme song. Y'all ready for that? Let's get it.
GodLogic the boss, bars pouring gloss, cross references raw, enemies at a loss. Imam claws in the shadows, truth like arrows. First lady in command, straight true narrow. Act out the teaching, reaching, seeking, spiritual beacon, logic, sweet beacon. Danny the bulldog, tight leash, hard speech. Brother Scott got a challenge in the lead. Beating truth so aggressive, minds defensive. Arguments demolished, logic comprehensive. Truth so raw, undefeated law. Spin truth so raw, undefeated law. Debate sizzle, minds fizzle, facts like missiles. Cognitive bristles break out the pistol. Original Quran, only Christians, the mission. Inquisition, divine vision, truth incision. GodLogic, the orator, the narrator. Cut through the noise, razor sharp debater. Destroy the fallacies, holistic, no malice. Claiming the palace, torching callous. Imam clause, tactical, radical, sabbatical, Dr. Manual, factual, significant, actual, first lady enforcer, logical discourse, truth divorcer, narrative scorcher. Spitting truth so aggressive, minds defensive. Arguments demolished, logic comprehensive. Truth so raw, undefeated law. Spitting truth so raw, undefeated law. Spitting truth so aggressive, minds defensive. Arguments demolished, logic comprehensive. Truth so raw, undefeated law. Spitting truth so raw, undefeated law.
That's right. That's how we open up the live stream right there. That's how we open up the live stream. We got to start it off with the original Quran only Christian theme song. So I am doing a live stream with a certain brother. Once he gets his coffee made. So now I'm going to break down what we're doing for you and everything else. But before I get into do that, I might as well shout this out first. I have redid my Patreon. So if anybody wants to support through Patreon, there are different levels. And once I have 150 people within Patreon, I will be full time. So let's try to make let's make that happen, y'all. So I'll be going across Canada and hopefully eventually down in the States, because I got to meet my milk brother and my other original Quran only Christians down in the United States. So let's get that happening in here. Hamza's quote, "I'm one of the good guys, but he is always in bot mode." Yeah, the problem with Hamza from Hamza's Den is that man is he's like a treasure chest, right? He's like the gift that just keep giving, right? So let's do it anyway. We just waiting for somebody to come in here. He's a little late. That's all right though. Yes, this debate was a beatdown. Now, I wanted to show you the reason why I wanted to do this debate. Oh, here we go. We got him here now. So, without further ado, I'm about to bring to you one of our brothers named Life GL 2.0. This man He goes from the hood all the way to the burbs. He preaching the gospel all the way in between, and he's showing these Muslims exactly what their Quran teaches. What's up, brother Life? How you doing today?
What's going on? What's going on, Chris? How y'all doing today?
I
Yeah,
got
man. We in here. I'm all over the place, man. I'm teaching these people about Islam, man. I'm teaching these Muslims. I'm going to some of my friends, some people that I don't even know, and I'm trying to expose Islam, because I was sitting at a house one day and I was like, they always keep telling me, oh, just go talk to the people that are knowledgeable. And that's fine, right? But what about the people who are being deceived that we will never talk to unless they find like a video from us or something somewhere? You know what I mean? So, and I don't know who's knowledgeable and who's not. I just make a post on my Instagram and I say, hey, any Muslims in the Bay Area, do you guys want to talk? And when they DM me back and say, yeah, let's do it, I present them with the information. If they're shocked, they're shocked. If they're not, they're not. As you guys saw in that video, I asked him, did he know how old Aisha was? He didn't know. So that was my cue to present the evidence. And ultimately, that's what led him to leave Islam, because he was deceived. It's not my fault you guys aren't educating your Muslims. Now everybody's attacking me saying he's a fake Muslim.
well, and that's the thing too, is you get a lot of buyer's remorse in the religion of Islam.
Yep.
Right. So that's the biggest thing, that Muslims don't teach new Muslims what Islam actually teaches.
Right.
When we have to do it, then it really shocks them. Right.
Yep.
All right. So our brother Life decided to join Hamza from Hamza's Den. So my first question to you though, brother, what made you want to join the live stream and to have a discussion with Hamza? What made you want to do that?
So what happened is I woke up one day randomly, just like super early, because they're on an 8-hour time difference. So I woke up around like 10 in the morning and I opened up YouTube just to, you know how people do sometimes, wake up, just pop open a social media site. So for me, it's YouTube. So I opened up YouTube and I'm like, Hamza's Den, he's live, just pop right up. He's on my screen. And I'm like, okay, he's live. Let me see what's going on. So I went into his live and he has the stream link, join. So I'm like, all right, should I join? I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's just have some fun. So I joined on my phone and we had like a 3-minute conversation because I joined right when he was about to close his shop. So I ended up talking to him about John Fontaine in Logic's debate, because the first question was, are you a Logic fan? And I'm like, I work with Logic. He's like, you work with Logic? Okay, but are you a Logic fan? I'm like, yeah. And he was like, do you think you won a debate? I was like, yeah, for sure. And then he started to question me about that a little bit. And he started bringing up the Satan, like, oh, Satan, coming to Muhammad in the cave, and why would Satan lead you back to the Gospels, and etc. And so I'm like, so I started to present my case for that, and he was like, oh, wait, just come back tomorrow. And I was like, what time? And he was like, I'm gonna be on at whatever time he was on. It was like 8 in the morning my time. So the whole day I'm just like, do I want to get up at 8 in the morning, bro? Like in my head, I'm like, is this guy worth 8 in the morning? So all day I'm just like, should I do it? Should I not? I even linked up with Avery later that day. We talked about it. I'm just like, I'll see what I can do, And then I wasn't gonna go. Literally, I made my mind up. I'm like, yeah, he's not worth it, because I ended up watching a little bit of the video with Logic and Muslim Cowboy, Hamza, and Rumsey.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh yeah, he's like, I don't want to wake up at 8 in the morning to get mass muted, you know. So
Yep.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Then it's funny because I ended up literally waking up, bro. I kid you not, 4 in the morning. Randomly, bro. I don't know what happened. I woke up at 4 in the morning, couldn't go to sleep till like 6. So I'm on and off, up, on and off sleep. Then I wake up, then I finally go to sleep around 6, wake up around 7 something, 7:30, 8ish, 8ish to 8:30. And that's when I'm like, finally, all right, I don't know what's going on. I can't go to sleep. Popped open YouTube, and there he is. He's live like he said. So I was like, I'm up.
Yep.
I ain't tired. I can't go to sleep. Might as well join this dude. And I did, and we had a whole 2-hour conversation. So that's how it happened.
There it is. And just to listening to the story and knowing what happened from the story.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you woke up at
Mhm.
4 o'clock in the morning. And you were going to be there for 8 o'clock in the morning. That's why you were woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and just was getting ready for
Mhm.
that 8 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
But so what I want to do is I cut it into 2 parts.
Nice.
So the way that I view life's discussion with Hamza is there was a part about the Bible, and then there was a part about child marriage. And those are the 2 main ones I want to go through today, right? The child marriage part. Now, we'll get to the Bible part maybe
Mhm.
later on. Well,
Right.
maybe we'll do that second, right? But the child marriage part. Did you think that he was going to be this bad in the defense of child marriage?
Oh man. When we got to that part, and that was such a random part too, because he was getting ready to close the live. But when we got to that part, bro, I did not know that Hamza was this slow. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. Throughout the remainder of the conversation, even when we get to the Bible part, right? I'll point out some things that I feel as I reviewed it, I'll point out some things that slip right past me that I should have attacked in that moment. But I'll show you how much of a contradicting human being this guy is. He'll say one thing, and then the next minute he'll argue against himself, but then he'll put it on you as if you're arguing his point that he's arguing against himself. And so in the conversation, you're so like, through 5 minutes of conversation with him, you're so confused. If you can't stay focused, it'll make it seem like he won the argument
Yep.
because he's just so triple-sided. I wouldn't even say double-sided. He's triple-sided. This dude is arguing he's arguing for and against himself and against you, against him at the same time. It's like, what are we doing here? And that's exactly what he did with the child marriage debate. It's like, what are you talking about? That's why it ended the way that it ended. Like, okay, well then you have no argument. What are we even talking about then, bro?
Yep. And
It's
that's
so
that's
confusing.
one thing that I find really interesting when I listen to Hamza
Mhm.
is you can make an argument as a Christian. And if he tries to steel man that argument that you just made, he's going to change it.
Yep.
And then what he's going to do is he's going to respond to the way that he changed your argument. So he's not really responding to the argument that you put forward, but he's responding to how he wants to change your
Yep.
argument so that he can respond to that instead, right?
Exactly.
I've noticed that with Hamza a few times when I was watching him and whatnot. But
Yeah.
so what I did with the child marriage one is I got that right from your channel. So that's the one we're gonna watch, the one that you uploaded.
Mhm.
Because you definitely pulled the best part of that child marriage and you got that clip uploaded. And I think it's only like an 18-minute clip or something like that anyway.
Yep. About
But
18, 20 minutes.
but it definitely shows and it highlights how truly ignorant Hamza and Muslims really are when it comes to their religion. Now,
Absolutely.
at the start of this video, I want everyone to be listening, because Life put it right at the start of this video. But Hamza messed up something fierce. Do you want to tell how he messed up Life, or do we just want to hear it?
Hey man, I guess one of the biggest guys with about almost 400,000 subscribers doesn't know what a Tafsir is.
Don't know what it here. And you don't believe us? You don't believe? Oh, we'll let him. But before we get into that, we do have a super chat. I want to say Salam Almasih to Appy Frenzy. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, I was just watching those videos on the GL 2.0 today. Hamza was contradicting himself. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
He was very badly. Thank you so much for the super chat. And yeah, and if y'all haven't watched these videos over there, y'all need to get over there now and watch these videos. Life's out there in the street, at the parks, talking with these Muslims, going on these lives. We need to be supporting them. So let's hear what Hamza admits here right at the start of the video, everyone.
I am. Okay, Tafsir, you know, Tafsir is hadith. Okay.
When you read a Tafsir and you see a hadith.
What? Let me back that up again. Come on, man. Did he just say that Tafsir is hadith?
And yo, Chris, I'm listening. I'm like, I didn't catch it. So if this was anybody else, I would have caught it, on TikTok, or I would have caught it immediately. But because of who I'm talking to, I cut it short. But on the actual video, I'm like letting him talk, and then in my head, I'm like, wait a minute, Tafsir is hadith, huh? It's like,
wow.
I'm like, I know I didn't just hear that, bro.
Maybe we didn't just hear that. Maybe everybody in the audience that's laughing at this joke, maybe they didn't hear it either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up this video just one time. And let's listen real closely. And let's see if that's exactly what he says, y'all. Here it is.
I am. Okay, Tafsir, you know, Tafsir is hadith. Okay.
When you read a Tafsir,
that is exactly what he said. Tafsir is hadith. How many subscribers does this guy have in YouTube? You said, Life?
I believe almost 400,000. Almost 400,000. He's been doing this for years. He's been a Muslim for 22 years, he says.
I got a question for any Muslim that supports Hamza from Hamza's Den. How can you support someone that doesn't even know that Tafsir is not hadith? That's a simple question. If there's a Christian and he had over 400,000 followers and he didn't know that Saint Irenaeus, Polycarp, or any of the other church fathers actually existed, then come on now. What would we be doing? All right, but beyond that, maybe he redeems himself. Maybe he explains what's going on. Maybe he won't contradict himself, because the worst thing that could happen, right? Like the worst thing that Hamza could possibly say here is, I never said that Tafsir is hadith. That's probably the worst thing that he could say here, isn't it, Life?
Yeah, instead of saying, "Oh, I made a mistake, my bad," or if I said that, I misspoke, he destroys himself even more.
So here, let's see if he redeems himself or if he discredits himself even more.
Here, and you see a hadith quoted in the Tafsir. Is Tafsir quoting Tafsir?
Oh, okay. When you see hadith quoted in Tafsir, that's hadith being quoted in Tafsir. Okay.
Thank you. So how is a Tafsir a hadith?
Oh, okay, but there's different. I didn't say Tafsir is hadith.
What?
Okay, Tafsir. You know
what? Oh no, man! No, man!
He can't be wrong on his own panel, so he gotta just lie and say he didn't say it, man. You talking too fast. You talking too fast. You do too. That's what happened when you try. Your whole persona is being a slick talker. So sometimes you just saying stuff, and then here, look at this too, Chris. This is a cut. This is a cut. This whole conversation about Tafsir and Hadith, he knows he said that because he kept telling me, well, see, this is why you need to get educated. I didn't put that part in this clip, but in the real clip, he's literally, when I said Tafsir is Hadith, huh? He goes, see, that's why you need to be educated. And then I had to push him at least two, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 times before he finally ended up saying he never said Tafsir is Hadith. But when I kept saying it, he kept saying, see, that's why you need to be educated. So he's insinuating that Tafsir is Hadith for about 2 minutes until he says, I never said that. So this dude is like, oh, I don't know what he is at this point. I really don't.
Like, life, we not even 30 seconds into this video. We're 23 seconds into this video. And you got this man done barbecued already. And we haven't even got into a topic yet. I mean, I'm interested for this one. Let's get it.
Tafsir is hadith. Okay, I am. Okay, Tafsir, do you know, Tafsir is hadith. Okay, I didn't say Tafsir is hadith. I mean, me and John, not really.
Scripture based. What do you guys different? Oh, not
No,
really.
we're on the same. We're on the same page, me and him.
Then what do you mean, not really? So
No,
the answer would be
we're on
no
the same
then.
page. Yeah. No.
So is it not really or is it no?
No, not really.
All right. So I got to break this down a little bit. So John Fontaine believes that Aisha was 6 years old when she married the Prophet and 9 years old when she consummated the marriage. Hamza, on the other hand, because he has daughters, will not view Aisha as that age. He actually believes that Aisha was older. But go ahead, Life here, and explain the conversation that you and Hamza were having here.
Yeah, so right here, he tries to muddy the waters, tries to get me to make comments on Catholicism, and I'm not studied in Catholicism. That's why I am not going to address anything that anyone says to me about Catholic material. That I would be doing you guys a disservice. So I'm not even going to touch it. I'm not a Catholic, so I'm not even going to, that's not what I'm studying right now. So he tries to muddy the waters, right? He kept bringing up Sam, he kept bringing up logic, he kept bringing up differences that we like. He's trying to get me to say something against what it is that Sam or Logic previously said. Then he asked me a question: do you and Logic differ on something, or do we agree on everything? And I said, no, we're human. But then he tries to pry that information out of me. And I'm like, bro, that's private. Well, you think I'm gonna tell you on your live about me and his differences?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? And then it's not even like a difference like that. Like, we're like mad at each other or something. It's a fun conversation differences. But so I flipped the question on Hamza because I see what he's trying to do. And then I say, well, what about you? Do you and John differ on anything? And then he goes, yeah, not really. Not really. I said, is it not really or is it no? And he goes, no. I said, so is it no or is it not really? Not really. Okay, so what is it? That's why I started laughing. I'm like, bro, what is it? No, not really? What is it? Bro, not really means, yeah, you guys differ on some things. And he's like, oh, well. And he handed me the torch. He literally handed me the torch, bro, to turn the barbecue pit on. Yeah, we differ on the age of Aisha. Boom. It's over with. I got you. Yep. So you okay with John thinking that it's okay for a 9-year-old to lay up with a 50-year-old? I had a problem with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's over with. Thank you, Hamza.
Let's get back into this video and let's hear him say that for himself.
One thing we may differ on is the age of Aisha. And I don't believe she was so young. That's another
he does?
Yeah, I think he follows the other opinion, yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I have no issue.
You have no issue with him thinking that laying up with a 9-year-old is wrong.
It was a going rate, mate.
It was a who?
It was the going rate.
That to me is the most disgusting comment anyone could ever make about a female and being married. When I'm talking about a common rate, the common rate of gas right now is about $1.75 here in Canada, because we don't go by gallons, we go by liters. When he says this, he's viewing it as a currency. Like, does he not realize that this is a type of wording that isn't very smart?
It's the going rate. Yeah, that's why it took me a minute to process that. I thought he said golden rate because I was about to say, bro, what? And he corrected me for going rate. I said, oh, well, that's even worse. But dude, it was the going rate, mate. Like, so basically, it was a common practice, so it's okay. Which I tried to get him to address certain common practices. You guys will see later in the debate. And it completely ignores. He doesn't want to deal with the common practice argument, but he wants to just bring it up. And the common practice argument is not a good argument.
Yeah, and hey, Hamza, since it's just common practice or the as you would say, the going rate, your buddy John is much younger than what your prophet was when he married Aisha. Would you let your buddy John marry your 6-year-old daughter and consummate the marriage at 9 years old, since it was a going rate, you disgusting individual? But let's keep going.
It was the golden rate in the
Going
7th century.
rate. Going rate.
Oh, it was the going rate in the 7th century.
It was a going rate in the 12th century in London, mate.
Does that
You
make it okay?
you could marry a 6-year-old in the 12th century.
Does that make it okay?
I didn't say it was okay. I said it was a going rate, mate. It's just what it was.
Well, I mean, you must be insinuating something by saying that. Does it make it okay?
Yeah. I'm insinuating before the invention of the teenager, there was no such thing as teenage adolescent years. It was.
So you're basically saying, okay, yeah, right. I know. That's what I'm saying. That doesn't make it right. Just because people were ignorant of
who decides what's right and wrong.
Just because people back then were ignorant on how to deal with.
Who decides what's right and wrong?
Just because people were ignorant on how to deal with children.
Where does God say this thing is
doesn't mean that it makes it right.
Where does God say this thing is wrong? How old do you believe?
Your God out of your God out of.
No, your God.
65, 4, 33, 49.
Your God.
My God says deal with them past the flower of their youth.
What does that mean?
Past the flower of their youth.
What's the flower of youth? What's the flower of youth?
Past the age of menstruation.
How old is that?
I would say 18.
Well, we hear a laugh, but where is the rebuttal to that?
No rebuttal.
You put out an age, and I'm not thinking that it's so far off. I may have said 16, 18, whatever, it's only a couple of years in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 16, 18, whatever you want to use at that point in time. But where's the rebuttal?
Right.
He laughs like it's funny.
Notice what I said too. I would say 18.
Yes.
Well, we're not going to say it's 6 and 9.
No.
So we're taking the age, and what I do is I utilize and I understand what it means for society to have conducted research and given us information that we are now available to dissect and understand why it's not okay for people to be dealing with kids as young as 6, as young as 9. There are studies that have been researched, and this is the reason why child marriage has been outlawed, because we now have the proper information to finalize and understand why practices like that are not okay. That's my point in this debate. Hamza's he's giggling this stuff off, but I'm trying to explain it to him why it makes sense. This is the reason why society has outlawed child marriage, because it's just not right. It's people didn't just wake up one day and say, I feel like making child marriage unlawful. Yeah, let me just go ahead and do that. Let me write that down here. Pass that off. All right, we're good to go. No, didn't work like that.
And stupid Muslims out there, like Hamza, life gave the biblical answer. He says, well, what does your Bible say? And life said, past the flowering of her youth. That's what it says. But it also describes the woman in there when she's past the flowering of her youth. So Muslims would be like, oh, well, she menstruated when she was 11, so she has to be married by 11 and the first month, right? So they just give it that 1 month. It's like, oh, that's past the flower of her youth. No, that's not what it means. It means that the woman is actually developing and growing as well. And the key reason for that is in our scriptures. Our Lord and Savior called a 12-year-old a little girl. Muslims, your prophet called a 6-year-old his wife. We ain't the same.
At all. At all.
All right, let's get back into this.
Sir, do you think girls menstruate at the age of 18?
Pause.
Past the age of menstruation, bro. Did you
Look at what, bro, when did I say girls menstruate at 18?
And your specific answer was past the menstruation, the flowering of her youth.
Yeah.
Past it.
And he's going to keep doing this throughout this entire debate. Purposefully pick out one thing, like what you just said earlier. Pick apart the argument, flip it upside down, make it say what he wants to say, and argue that against you. So guys, who if you're not slick enough, or if you're not listening, enough to hear him say things like this, Hamza will get past you on that. He does that a lot.
And this is one of the places where I wanted to pause and I wanted to point that out. Is you all remember that life specifically said past the flowering of her youth. Specifically used that phrasing. And then said, to me, I would say around 18 years old. So because of the studying that life has done and everything else, that's what his conclusion would be.
Right.
Now, did Hamza say, is that the early church fathers' understanding, or what is the early church fathers' understanding? No. Life gave his own understanding, and he specifically did it in a way. And then he said, I would say probably 18. What Hamza does here is he takes that number. He takes that number 18, and he takes flowering of her youth, not even after the flowering of the youth, but he takes the words flowering of her youth and 18, mashes them together. Now, all of a sudden, life just said women don't have menstruation until 18 years old. That's how Hamza works right there.
How in the world did he get?
No, I agree that, but this is this is one reason why I love doing these reviews, especially ones like this as well. Like, cause you caught him out cold, and then like this is Logic and Uthman down in the park, and Uthman pulled up the footnote. Like, you caught Hamza just as he caught Uthman at that point in time in this discussion. That's why I needed to go over this one with you. All right, let's keep going though.
Listen, when they flower.
Past the flower of their youth.
What's past the flower?
That's clear. That's clear as day.
No. How is that clear as day? Really, according to the Bible, what age? Look, girls when they got married.
Past the flower of their youth. See, the problem is you guys don't believe it. You guys don't believe in evolution.
No. The problem you have
to develop a mindset and understand what it means to deal with women.
No,
that's the problem. You don't understand that. You don't understand that society has developed in that way. The problem is that your Quran has a ruling on children. Your Quran has a ruling.
I'll explain the problem you have.
It allows you to deal with children.
That's what
you're running away from.
I'll explain the problem you have.
How come every time we try to have a conversation about the Quran and Islam, you go to Christianity?
The problem.
Christianity doesn't allow intercourse with children.
Okay, according to the Quran, how old should the girl be before you marry her?
Well, the age sets them under the age of menstruation. So
no. According to the Quran, how old should the girl be when you marry her?
It doesn't give you an age.
Okay, what's the indication?
The indication is 65, 4, 33, 49.
No. What?
Yeah, it is. Notice how he's trying to run.
That's it. He ran away from it the whole time. No. That's not what it says. That's not what it says. And then moves to another topic. No. And it says something else. That's it. He doesn't rebuttal me this entire 18 minutes. He just says no and then tries to muddy the waters about what I say. That's it. And he tried to be slick he kept trying to go back to Christianity and what my Bible says when I explained it to him over and over and over again. That's why I kept telling him, I already explained it to you, bro. I'm not about to keep explaining it to you.
So I got a question here for you, like, before we continue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you see it and I see it and Logic sees it and all of us apologists see it, but maybe not everyone sees it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about child marriage in the Quran, and immediately the Muslim says, well, what about your Bible? Are they really defending child marriage in the Quran, or are they actually agreeing that it's there, but now they're saying you have that issue too?
Yeah, they don't know how and that bothers me as well too. The Muslims don't know how whataboutism works, because essentially what you're saying is yes, you're right, but you have the same problem. That's whataboutism.
Yeah.
And so when you immediately go to the Bible and say, read your Bible, Rebecca was 3. So are you saying your book allows people to deal with kids and my book allows people to deal with kids? No, I'm not saying that. Well, then what are you saying then? Because you're responding with the Bible while at the same time calling me a hypocrite. Mm-hmm. If you're calling me a hypocrite, then that means that I'm going to get something that I follow. So, I mean, I don't understand how they don't get it.
I don't either. And as soon as you appeal to something else, like when they go to Rebecca being 3, as soon as a Muslim says, well, Rebecca was 3, they're admitting the problem in their religion. Mm-hmm. Like that. And it just, but we see that all the time. And I know that you've pointed that out before, even on your live streams on TikTok.
Yeah.
To certain Muslims come up. So I wanted you to point that out again up here. But let's go through here a little bit more and see how Hamza is going to try to wiggle out of this. And remember, everyone down in the chat, let me get him off the screen. Remember, everyone down in the chat, Hamza did not say that Tafsir is hadith. No, he did.
He never said it, man.
He never said it, even though he did. All right, let's get it.
Does the Quran say that when should you marry a girl? Once she reaches what?
You can marry a girl before puberty.
No, that's not what it says.
Yeah, it does. That's what Ibn Kathir's Tafsir says.
That's not what it says. It says
Ibn Kathir's Tafsir says as for the young.
That's not what it says.
Ibn Kathir's Tafsir says, as for the young who have not reached the age of menstruation. So what does that mean?
Again, you're doing the Tafsir thing again. Okay, this is why you need schooling. All right. The Quran,
wait, pause. What does that even mean? That's not even an answer. Again, you're doing the Tafsir thing. Again. All right, now let me just disregard what you're saying and talk about something else. That's literally what he's about to do right now. He just discredited it, never responded to it, and just said, all right, I'm out.
The next time, I got to do this. The next time any of you Christians are out there talking to a Muslim and they want to quote a tafsir so that you have to understand the verse, be like, well, you just doing that tafsir thing, aren't you? You just doing that tafsir thing.
Again, you're doing the tafsir thing, man. Come on. And then just move to another topic.
Like the tafsir thing is your religion, idiot. That's how you guys understand your Quran. So when you disagree with life's interpretation of Surah 65:4, this is the reason why you have tafsir in the first place. Boom. But there's a reason why he doesn't want to go to tafsir, though, isn't there, Life?
Oh, for sure, because he's gonna have to admit that this is what is being said. That's why I asked him, "What does that mean?" And he kept disregarding it. Tafsir Ibn Kathir says, "Before the as for the young, who have not reached the age of menstruation." That's a cut right there. It's over with.
Yep.
He's not going to want to explain that on his stream. He's not going to say Ibn Kathir is wrong on the stream either.
No, and then that's the big thing. Like, we're going to the Quran, we're using that verse, then we're going to their tafsir, which is supposedly the most authentic source when it comes to understanding the Quran. And Hamza will not go to it because he knows that life is actually right. But let's keep going.
And says that the girl must have physical and mental maturity. Okay, so I would agree with you right now that
what is physical and mental maturity?
Now I would say about 21. Personally.
No. I'm asking you. Back then, what was physical?
Depends on the age. Depends. I don't know. In English,
that's not an answer.
Okay. You can't give a definitive answer because times change, regions change. So it depends where you are in the world.
So you can just say they need to be physically and mentally mature, but you can't know how to. But you can't know how to.
Okay. So they needed to have passed the flower of their youth. They do, mate.
Oh, wow, your Quran doesn't say that.
They need to well, that's what physical maturity means. So they need to pass the flower of their youth.
Wait, pause.
And they need to be
Whoa.
No, so he tried to steal from you stealing from us.
Let me back this up. I want to see him stealing from life's worldview here,
man.
He's stealing from life's worldview.
That's why I said, "Whoa, what? Your Quran don't say that."
Because didn't he laugh at the start of this video about 18?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what he laughed about, y'all? Well, let's just see what this. Oh, you idiot! Let's just see what he says.
It depends where you are in the world.
So you can just say they need to be physically and mentally mature, but you can't know how to. But you can't know how to.
Okay, so they needed to have passed the flower of their youth. They do, mate.
Oh, wow, your Quran doesn't say that.
They have to pass the flower of their youth. This is the maturity. He's agreeing that what the Bible says is talking about maturity, not simply just menstruation. The Bible is talking about the physical and mental and everything else. His Quran isn't. Oh, this is
exactly. And my argument for past the flower of their youth was past the age of menstruation. And I'll detail it as well too, because he kept asking for it in a minute. But as my argument was past the age of menstruation, and we know their Quran allows before the age of menstruation, so he can't use past the flower of their youth because that's not what it means. But now, what does he want to do? He wants to take it and turn it to something else. You can't take that and make that mean people who haven't hit puberty yet. Doesn't work.
I'm just gonna pause this live stream because I want to send this Muhammadan back to Mecca so that he can kiss this black stone. All right. So the claim is that Rashi in his commentary says that Rebecca is 3 years old. This is the claim that the Muslims have been making for the longest time. But are they correct? I'm in Safaria right now. Let me scroll up here. This is the Rashi commentary on Genesis. Let's go down to see what he would have said. Thus, Isaac was then 37 years old at the period Rebekah was born, and he waited until she was fit for marriage. He waited 3 years after he brought her back. He waited until she was fit for marriage. When Rashi says 3 years here, it doesn't mean that she was 3 years old. It means that Isaac waited 3 years when he had Rebecca there for her to be ready. Come on, Muslims. You gotta be able to read better than your prophet. Just a tiny bit better than your prophet.
That's bad. That is so bad. And I guarantee you, he's still gonna say Rashi agrees that she was 3
because none of them will read it. None of them will read it.
Well, you just read it to him right now. I'm sure he's still in here. I mean, he put a comment up. I'm sure he saw it, and I guarantee you, he's still gonna say she was 3 because he has to. He has to find a way to defend child marriage in Islam.
Yep, exactly. All right, let's get back into it. And now, away from these little trolls that are in the chat, let's get back to why we here. Let's get back to this main meal of Hamza being cooked.
They need to that's what physical maturity means. So they need to pass the flower of their youth, yeah, and they need to be mental capacity to get married. Okay, so they can't be little girls without if they don't have the mental capacity. They can't be wise if they've got. For example,
what does it mean? What does it mean to be mentally mature for marriage?
It means that you. So you could be the. No. Are we in the 7th century, or are we talking about old time here?
Well, because when I talk about the 21st century, you say times have changed.
Oh, okay. I'll say it again to you. Okay, physical and mental maturity are the requirements for marriage. Yeah. So therefore, as long as physical maturity and mental maturity,
detailed physical and mental maturity.
Okay. Physical maturity is past the flower of their youth, like you just said.
Meaning what?
Meaning puberty.
Oh, did Hamza just agree that you were right, Life?
Look. So what's up with that little leprechaun laugh when I said it? But now all of a sudden I'm right, like you just said, past the flower of their youth, physical and mental maturity. See, you're right. Wait a minute, but you just laughed at me 3 minutes ago.
Man, did you charge this guy for the lessons that you were giving him during this live stream, or was this free?
I should have charged him, man, for these lessons, man. He's saying I'm right. He taking my material. He's stealing. Y'all remember Soulja Boy on the Breakfast Club? He stole my whole flow.
He stole my whole flow.
Look, as I told you, man, he's doing it in real time. He's arguing against me, then taking my arguments, using my arguments, and acting as if I am not the one presenting these arguments, arguing for it, against it, and arguing around it while never having his own position. You guys will see that later in the debate too.
In this argument right now, he's taking a biblical argument and the Quranic argument, and he's putting them together and insisting that this is the Islamic view. No, it ain't. And Hamza, the next time my man Life is live over on the GodLogic 2.0, you need to drop that boy a stack. You need to drop that boy a stack because, man, the amount of lesson that he give you, you may want to sign him half ownership of that store. You own about that much right now. Come on now. All right,
goodness.
Your Quran doesn't say that.
What do you think physical maturity means?
Brother, when 65:4 says those who have not yet menstruated, what does that mean?
Okay, I'll say it again to you. What do you think physical maturity means?
Not the Quran.
Why are you're asking me the question I'm asking you?
Didn't he disagree with me?
I told you what I believe it means.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Wait, pause it really quick.
When your body is developed enough in an adult.
And take it back like 10 more seconds too before you play it. But notice how he just admitted that what I said about physical and mental maturity was right. And then he turns around and asks me, what do I mean by physical and mental maturity? 10 seconds later.
He took your argument, said it was his, and then wants you to give a new argument. Come on, man. Like,
this dude cannot be real, bro. I'm literally that's what I'm saying. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, is this real? I'm like, bro, that's what I said to you. Okay, wow. So now you took my argument, bro. So you stole my argument, act like I never said anything to you now, and now you want me to present what it means to be physical and mental mature in accordance with past the flower of their youth. So you stole what I said that I was right, and then 10 seconds later, act like I never told you anything. How are you doing this, bro?
And my milk brother down in the audience. Oh, this comment is just to put that icing on the cake right there. Wait until Hamza realizes that Paul wrote that as well. Past the flowering of her youth. We get that in the writings of Paul, not from the Gospels. So now it's not just Hamza stealing life's argument. He's stealing life's argument from Paul, the one that they don't even like. Come on, man. Come on.
Why do they hate why do they hate the third messenger they sent to strengthen the other two?
That's right. That's right. Boulos is one of the main men in there, Hamza. All right, let's get, man, this is just too much fun today. I'm so glad we doing this reaction live. Man, I'm so happy we doing this.
Look at highlight Black Doctor's comment. Hamza, you made this argument? Nah, I made this.
Yeah.
What argument?
Yeah. that would have been like if you were thinking at high class at that, like right at the top of your scholarship, that would have been the comment you would have come out with, been like, what do you mean my explanation? You just stole my explanation and tried to pretend it's your own.
This dude is doing real time plagiarism. This is crazy.
Yeah, real time plagiarism, and has no quorum saying that is all right.
What do you think physical maturity means?
Why you're asking me the question? I'm asking you.
I'm asking you. Yes, because I told you what I believe it means.
Yeah. Okay. Physical maturity is when you're.
Yes, I told you what I believe I heard you say it was, because I didn't know, so I stole your argument, used it as my own. Now, can you please give me your argument again?
And then got the nerve to say, I told you what I believe.
Man. Oh, I can't do this today with him. Hamza, what are we doing here, man?
Your body is developed enough in an adult state, and you're able to have, intercourse and have a baby and get pregnant and etc.
No. Physical maturity is past the flower of their youth, as the Bible says.
Yeah, I said.
Why don't you use the Bible as your criteria?
I said. I literally said that. I said when the body is developed.
All right. So physical maturity is passing the flower of their youth, which basically means puberty. Okay. So they're physically prepared to have children or whatever, and they're mentally prepared to be a mother and a wife.
Now, detail. So they're mentally prepared to be a mother and a wife. So take care of children, basically.
Yes.
Take care of children, take care of the household, because that's mainly what women were doing in the 7th century. So are you saying that children can't do that today?
Yeah, saying that.
So that's impossible for children to do that today.
They don't have the mindset.
They don't have the mindset to take care of children in the household.
To be husband.
So I'm gonna point this out right here for all you parents out there that have children. Apparently, your daughters don't know how to cook. Y'all have not taught your daughters how to cook out there. Y'all have not taught your daughter how to clean. You have not taught your daughter how to do anything. She just standing there like this. Don't even know what she's doing. Has no idea what she's doing. But this is what Hamza's saying. Like, come on.
9-year-olds don't know how to cook, clean, take care of the household. 9-year-olds can't do that. Okay. It is what it is. I guess a 9-year-old don't know how to clean up.
Like, legally, I don't think that a 9-year-old could be a babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
But I know almost every parent out there today. If you got 2 children and your one child was 3 years old and your other child was 9 to 10 years old, you're going outside and you're grabbing a few things without both children, and you're having the older child watch the younger child.
Exactly.
Every parent knows this. Like, and what do we do? Okay, now I can't speak for Hamza because maybe he's one of them people that isn't smart enough to teach his children how to, wash, clean, cook, do the normal things that one would have to do to survive a normal life, right? Maybe I'm just not thinking correctly. Like, I have 5 children, right? Maybe somehow I did it wrong. You know, I did it wrong because I taught them how to cook. I did it wrong because I taught them how to clean the house. My daughter, who is 15 today, 6 years ago, was a babysitter. And she babysat for people around our neighborhood because she was responsible enough to. So what's he talking about, life?
I have no idea, man. And as you see right here, I'm gonna cut him right here. He's about to get cut, and then pause it after he gets cut, and then I don't want to expose it.
All right, here we go.
So there are no children. So there are no children at the age of 9 that are able to take care of a kid.
No, I don't believe children in this day and age are capable of taking on the responsibility of motherhood and being a wife. No.
Are you familiar with third world countries?
Yes.
That's exactly what's happening in third world countries, bro.
What's happening?
Where children have to grow up early and take care of the household at the age of 9. Boys do it, girls do it.
Right.
And they have to take care of their little brothers who are
Look at how he's learning now. He stopped in his tracks. He said, right.
Oh, that reminded me of something, life. You and Logic are so identical. Because a long time ago, I remember, So what you're saying is,
oh my goodness, dude. Just take it back to when I said, are you familiar with third world countries?
All right, here we go.
Of taking on the responsibility of motherhood and being a wife. No.
Are you familiar with third world countries?
I just had to pause that look right there. Look at that look right there. That is the deer caught in a headlight look right there. You done caught with your hand in the cookie jar. You just got slapped in the back of the head by grandma because you got your hat on at the table. Come on now. Come on now.
Hamza, I really got to teach you about third world countries, my guy. We see documentaries, movies. We see informative documentaries from journalists and etc., where they go travel to these countries, my guy, and they show 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds literally doing things that adults do in regards to taking care of the house, cook, clean, watch their 3 and 4-year-old little baby, because the parents literally are either not there or they are just forced to grow up fast. I mean, we've seen this over and over and over and over again. And so for him to say this, I'm like, you are about to, I'm so glad he said that. I am about to destroy you. There's no way you just said this, because I use 9, but we've seen documentaries where it's even younger, 8, 7. And you're like, dang, this little 7-year-old girl doing all of this. 100%. And they're fluent in speaking to people and telling them how they're doing it and why they have to do it, because the parents is, not capable. We've seen it all. We've seen it before, plenty times over. This isn't just an anomaly. It's happening now, and it's been happening, for a while, and it's still happening today. And that's why he's stuck, because he's like, oh, I forgot about third world countries.
I was going to give a few shout out to the super chats. I didn't even notice that we had super chats coming in. I've been just going back and forth, having so much fun with this live stream, but I'm going to read out what we got so far. We got our man GodLogic down there sending in the super chat. Thank you so much, my dear brother. Salam Amasi. He says, life, you done believe in 3 gods, man. You 3 God believer in, are you?
3 of them.
Then we got my man's DJ Roll up in the building.
DJ.
Thank you so much, DJ. He says, why do Muslims always steal from the Bible? They steal them from Christian apologists now.
Mm-hmm.
That we just saw. They're not even the Bible. They'll steal right from us now.
Mid-debate,
steal right from our lips. Gerson Ramirez, thank you so much. Salam Mama C. You says, Hamza was that kid in school that would steal your joke and say it louder for the class to hear.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, he is. And then we got our man's GodLogic back here dropping a stack on us today. Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah.
Now you learning. Now
hey,
you learning.
So the context behind this, because you know, me, Logic, we make up a lot of slogans, bro. So look, the context behind that slogan is there was a point in time where we were watching a conversation between a Muslim and a Christian. I forgot who it was. I think it may have been Logic talking to somebody or me talking to somebody. But the point is we had this exact moment here where the Muslim is trying to refute you, trying to argue with you. And then you have this pause moment right here where you're forced to learn. And so the joke was, look, you came up trying to debate. Now you learning.
Hamza come up like he was all the big old man in this debate. Oh, now you learning, brother. Oh, now you learning.
Yeah, you came up here trying to teach. Now you learning.
Hey, you got that Trey moment, as Brother Scott would say.
Deer in the headlights, man.
Let's get it here.
Yeah,
that's exactly what's happening in third world countries, bro.
What's happening?
Where children have to grow up early and take care of the household at the age of 9. Boys do it, girls do it.
Right.
And they have to take care of their little brothers who are 5.
Okay. So here's the thing you see.
So a 9-year-old is able to do that in today's day and age. So is it okay for?
So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play probably about 5 minutes this time. So it's at the 7-minute mark. I'm not going to stop it until the 12-minute mark. And then we're going to talk about that 5 minutes that was talked about. All right. And I'm going to turn off my camera because I got to talk to some kids, and I'll be right back.
For a 50-year-old man to lay up with a 9-year-old?
Oh, okay, I'll say it again to you. A 50-year-old man could have laid with a 6-year-old in London in the 12th century by law.
Does it make it right?
Oh, okay. Why does it make it wrong? Who says it's wrong?
Are you saying it's not wrong?
No, I'm asking you. No.
Are you saying it's not wrong?
I'm going to play your game now. No. Why is it wrong? I'm playing your game.
I've already established why it's wrong.
No, you haven't. Why is it wrong?
Yeah, because grown men shouldn't sleep with children.
Why not?
Oh my goodness.
No, oh my goodness.
I'll see you later, Hamza.
There you go.
The conversation gets a little weird.
Why?
So do you think grown men can?
No, it's not about what I think. I want to know what you think. And
I've already explained. No,
you haven't. Why. You haven't. Why? Yeah. Why is it wrong?
Because it's wrong.
Why?
Because children are not in the position to lay up and deal with grown men. Throughout history, we have evolved.
You're assuming.
Throughout history, we have evolved.
You're assuming.
And we have the technology
and understanding
to realize that those practices are wrong.
Are you saying girls have never been in this position of marrying at such a young age?
When did I ever say that? The reason why we push back against it is
when is it wrong?
The reason why
I can't do it. I couldn't wait till the 12-minute mark.
How many times did he just contradict himself within this a minute and 30-second exchange?
That's it. It's so hard to do a review on Hamza that's longer than 10 minutes because it takes 4 hours. He's so stupid. We got to pause it every 30 seconds. Come on.
He literally just said it's wrong, but he won't say. He said he agrees with me when I say that's wrong, but then he won't say it's wrong. But then he's questioning me about why it's wrong, but he doesn't believe it's wrong, but he doesn't believe it's right. Oh, so what, bro? What are we doing? What are we doing here? Do you have a position? And then he keeps accusing me of not explaining why it's wrong. I'm telling you why it's wrong, over and over and over and over again. And then every time I tell him why, he says who? We've already established biblically this is where I'm coming from.
You're just assuming, life.
Yeah,
you're just assuming. You're just assuming, man.
Yep, that's it.
All right, let's get into this.
The reason one second is because we realize that that's wrong. No, that's why.
What's your criteria? What's your criteria for wrong?
I just explained it. How many times I got to explain it?
No, you haven't explained anything. All you've done is mock outrage. I'm asking you,
I'm not. Why is it wrong?
Why is it?
Wait,
wrong?
real quick. Pause it real quick. This is exactly what the Muslims do here. Prime example, when they started getting frustrated and cooked, now all of a sudden, I haven't explained anything. I'm just mocking. At what point did I mock? Where are you even getting this from? I mean, this reminds me of when me and Logic were in London and we simply walked up to the table and asked for a conversation. And the Muslim lady turns around and says, we're being disrespectful, shouting and yelling at everybody. When it's on camera that no one said anything except for Logic. and all he did was walk up and say, can we have a conversation? And she immediately lies and says we were yelling and screaming at everybody. They just come up with this stuff off the dome.
I just need to back this up just a few seconds. I need to replay this just for a few seconds.
I just explained it. How many times I got to explain it?
No, you haven't explained anything.
You haven't explained everything, is what Hamza says. But yet Hamza took your explanation
and said I was right.
He used it, and then he said it was his argument. So without you explaining it, Hamza wouldn't even have had an argument. Like, come on, man. Come on, Hamza.
What you've done is mock outrage.
I'm not mocking outrage.
Why is it wrong?
I'm not mocking outrage. I just told you why it's wrong, because a child is not ready to have intercourse and lay up and deal with an adult.
Okay, according to who are they not?
According to the evolution of society.
Oh, right. So according to moral relativity, yeah?
No, according to the evolution of society, when they realize that
what's evolution? What is no.
The evolution of society means that when we get to the age of information and we're able to deduct research and we're able to conduct research on how and what it means to deal with human beings, we understand that the dealing with children are wrong.
Pause it right there. Look at that.
Through research that
now he knows he can't run from that. So what does he say? How old was Mary? So he asked me a question. According to who? Okay, we already established that according to my Bible, this is my objective moral standard here. Yep. But I'm not just going to use the Bible only, because we have human beings conducting real research on why this is wrong as well. So according to the Bible and according to the research that was conducted, if we combine all these two together, we get the Bible standing strong in this narrative here. We have the winning position. You don't. So if you don't want to accept the Bible, well, then according to society, that is sick. According to society, this is something that shouldn't be done. Why? Because of the research that they've conducted to prove that laying up with children is not okay, which is the reason why the age limit have been raised. It wasn't raised for no reason. So when he says that, he assumes that I'm probably saying, oh, well, he assumes that now I'm throwing out the biblical narrative and I'm just going with evolution. That's actually not the point. But remember, Hamza does this. He'll take one part of your point, remove it, and use that as the argument, flip it upside down, and act like that's exactly what act like, whatever he thinks your argument is what you're saying. But in this moment, that's actually not what I'm saying. I'm using it all as a whole. And that's why later on in the conversation, I tell him objective morality is my standard. And that obviously has to come from God. So everything that I'm using, I'm tying it all in together. Because what he wants me to do is just say the Bible, so he can just ask me, well, what age does the Bible give? Well, the Bible doesn't give an age. So I have to go to researchers and people that have done and conducted research to give us the proper age based on the research that they've done to show that these practices are wrong. But he doesn't want to do that. And he malfunctioned. And now he says, Mary. What about Mary? What about Mary?
And the problem with bringing up Mary in this discussion is he's going to assume that Mary was 12 years old when she gave birth to Jesus. But we find that in the Catholic Encyclopedia, of course, right? Which is not an official Catholic doctrine. Now, also, when inside the Catholic religion, there's a thing called infallibility.
Mm.
Now,
somebody told me that it doesn't say that in there. I haven't checked yet, but I've heard the argument before. But like I said, somebody told me after this debate that Logic told me as well, and some other people were telling me too that it never said that.
Yeah, it might not. I didn't look
Mhm.
into it. I was just going based on the claim.
Right, exactly. Same here. That's why I was like, well, I'm not a Catholic, so I'm not going to address it. So,
But when it comes to Catholicism, they have this term called infallibility. They believe that the Pope, when speaking dogmatic, when it comes to theology about God and doctrinal issues, is infallible in what he's saying because they believe that the Holy Spirit is speaking through him at that point, and there's no way that the Holy Spirit could be wrong. So that's where they get the infallibility inside the Catholic Church, and we would have to accept it as well. If I believe somebody was speaking by the power of the Holy Spirit, I would have to believe that those words that they are speaking at that point in time is infallible 100%, because there's no way that God's words could be fallible words. They have to be infallible, right? Now, in saying that, though, there is no pope in Catholic history that has ever said in the dogma, like in an infallible way, that Mary is was indeed 12. Now let's think about this for a second. Jesus called a 12-year-old a little girl, right? We also find out in the Bible that you must be past the flowering of your youth. So if Jesus is identifying Tabitha, which was 12 years old, as a little girl, and past the flowering of the youth is when one would be married, we can come to the conclusion so far that 12 years old is still too young, because Jesus is still addressing her as a little girl. I would have placed Mary around 15, possibly 14 to 16 years old is the age group that I would place Mary in, because at that point, I believe 15, and because I have daughters, and you start progressing in your puberty a little bit more at around the 14, 15, 16 years of age, right? So I personally believe that the information in the Bible and God being all knowing, I believe that Mary would roughly be between 14 and 16 years old, but not as young as 12.
yeah, and it's funny too, because when guys like Hamza do research on this, right? I've seen multiple ages given. I've seen it even go all the way up to 20. And these are assumptions. We don't know. We don't have a real indication of her age. But based on, like you said, the scriptures and what we read, we can honestly kind of deduce what the proper age would have been for this to take place. But when a Muslim reads someone making comments on or trying to figure out what is what, they'll just take the lowest age number and not actually give the reference and show, well, that's actually not a standard age that they're saying. It's just a claim. But a guy like Hamza will come up and say she was 12 when people are just trying to figure out how old she was. No one actually knows exactly how old she was when she got pregnant. People are making comments and trying to figure out how old she was, but we just don't know. And that's just the facts. But they'll go with the lowest number possible to try to help them. But like I said, it's just the same thing. It's whataboutism. They're trying to put us in the same boat as them. They want us to not know who wrote the Injil. They want us to not know who the authors of these books. Islam is just a religion of confusion. Confuse them so much to the point where they just immediately say God is one. That's all I care about. The Quran is simple. All this other stuff is confusing. I'll just let it go and just go with a simple book. Just say God is one and pray 5 times a day. Khalas, we're good to go. That's what they want to do.
Exactly. That's what they want to do. So what I want to do, I'll just shout out this quick super chat. Thank you so much, my dear brother. I'm going to murder that name. So Adesina, I'm just going to say the first name because I don't want to mispronounce the last name. Thank you so much. He's like, what are we doing here, man? Hamza is getting cooked. And y'all think that Logic is the only one cooking up these Abduls? Y'all think it's just Logic cooking up these Abduls? There's a reason why Life is a part of the GodLogic family. There's a reason why he's GL 2.0. There's a reason. This man is out there cooking as well. He ain't riding off the name of GodLogic like everybody wants to talk about. Oh, aren't you just riding off of GodLogic's name? No. He out there in the streets. He out there in the TikTok streets. He out there in the YouTube streets. He's out there in the real streets talking with these Muslims.
We out here putting in this work, man. Putting in this work. I got a surprise for y'all too.
And so what I'm going to do now, though, is this discussion is pretty much over. Everybody to watch the rest of that discussion, y'all need to go over to Life's channel. You probably already saw it, but if you haven't, go over and watch the rest of that discussion. But there's also another part that I wanted to go over quickly as well. But before we get to the next part, Life, is there anything that you wanted to say when it comes to what we were just dealing with?
Yeah, absolutely.
You knew he was going to put that.
This dude is hilarious.
You knew
man.
he was going to put that.
But from that discussion right there, it just shows because towards the end he says he's not towards the end it was so confusing, bro. He did all of that just to turn around and say he doesn't have an argument. He's not arguing for it, or he's not arguing against it. And at that point, I was just like, okay, all right, well, the conversation is over. So what I concluded from that was this. All Islam is just a big ball of confusion. All dawah is confuse the masses as much as you can. When it comes down to defending Islam, they can't do it. It's just indefensible. They can't do it. It's just, I'm going to confuse you as much as I possibly can until the conversation is over. And that's just the dawah right there. That's all they have to do. And sometimes these tactics do get people. So you guys got to be aware of the tricks and aware of the way that they say certain things in order to be able to catch and flip it right on them every turn. So you let them speak, let them say what they want to say, but make sure you pay attention to what it is that they are saying. Because if you guys watch us on TikTok, you guys watch us on YouTube, whenever the Muslim just wants to speak or he just comes up and just wants to talk, notice how every time a question is being asked to a Muslim, what do? They start talking for like 2 to 3 minutes. They answer your question barely, and then they keep going on and on and on and on and on. Sometimes they talk for 2 minutes, never answer your question, then cry about being able to talk. What is that doing? Muddying the waters of the conversation. Then you kick them out, then they claim that you ran. So now they're confused about the entire conversation, and then they don't even know what the actual real point was. But for the Muslim that's indoctrinated, they'll look at you and they'll look at the conversation and they will believe what the Muslim said because it seems like the Muslim got mistreated. So now it's not even about the argument. It's about the mistreatment of the Muslim, which now the Muslim believes that they won the argument because we had to mistreat them and kick them down because we didn't want to hear what they had to say.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, it's because they actually weren't saying anything. So pay attention to what these guys got to say and flip it on them. Flip it on them. Sometimes just let them speak because they're going to cut themselves eventually. They lie, they twist things, and half of the stuff that come out of their mouth is not even true. And that's just me giving them grace by saying half. It's way higher than that.
So basically, Danny Davis and Life are basically thinking the same thing. You see what Danny just said on the screen, Life?
Two options. One, confuse you and claim victory. Boom. Two, call you disingenuous and kick you. Exactly.
That's exactly what they do.
That's all dawah is, bro. Literally.
Yep.
Literally. If you guys sit back and analyze it, that's literally what dawah is. It's embarrassing. Like, it's literally embarrassing. The whole time he's arguing for or not for or about or not about child marriage,
It happens.
but apparently that's not what he's doing. So, yep.
Sorry, man. I was just getting it up there. I didn't know it was going to hit play.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right. So I just wanted to play this part because a lot of Muslims are using this argument as well. But before we get into this, I'll give the last couple shout outs up in here. Logic, of course, before says, I learned everything from life. That's right. If y'all think that life is leak or mooching off of logic, that ain't the correct scenario. It's logic is mooching off of life's fame. That's the way it is. So logic is learning everything from life. It's the opposite way around, Muslims. And we also have everything dangerous. That's right. Thank you so much. Salam Almasi says life's Quran verse TikTok is so masterfully done all the time. Great stuff. Smooth trolling. The smoothest trolling I've ever seen.
Completing the challenge. Oh man.
You ready for yours, or you want me to do your video first or mine?
Yeah. I'm not gonna play it. I don't want to expose it, but I just wanted to show you what's coming up next. You kept talking about You kept talking about being in the streets, man.
So you just want to show the picture?
Yeah.
And not play it? Okay. I'll bring it up for you.
So we got not only one, but we got two others. So I got another one coming, you guys. I'm in Oakland talking to this guy, and I exposed child marriage to him as well. And he said, now I'm gonna be honest. He grew up under NOI, but he said some crazy stuff about the Sunnis and Islam and when he was growing up and stuff like that. And after I revealed this information to him, he was super thrown off about Sunni Islam as well. So but that's pretty much it.
What time is Logic going live? Let me go ahead and click on. Okay. We got. Ooh. He's going to be live in like 8 minutes. So I'm going to try to finish this one off quick.
Yep. Let's do it.
All right. So actually, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do this part yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until after Logic's live stream. Maybe I'll do this tomorrow morning before I go to the gender reveal for my daughter. But I do want to show this quickly on the screen just so everybody does see it. When we're talking about the early church fathers and what they believed and who the writers were. So we'll start here. Let me go ahead. See if I can make it bigger. There we go. Can we all see that? It says Tertullian of Carthage at 207, Clement of Alexandria at 180, Irenaeus of Lyons of 180, the Matorian Fragment of 170, Justin Martyr of 150, and Papias of Hierapolis at 125. That is our chain of authorship. Then I have a slideshow that gives all the quotes by these church fathers, and it says here, these gospels were written by Matthew and John, who were apostles, and Luke and Mark, who were apostolic men. Now, one thing I want to go into here too is Muslims will tell you that Mark was the first gospel ever written. That's what they will tell you. But what does Clement of Alexandria say right here, y'all? Mark wrote his gospel, but Matthew and Luke were published first. Matthew and Luke were published first. So according to the early church fathers, Mark isn't the first gospel. A lot of Hamza's arguments are because Mark wasn't an apostle, but the apostles took from Mark. That was the main argument that he was going at life, and that's the one I'm going to address tomorrow morning. Now, is there anything that you want to say before we end the live stream? to everyone here live?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you guys see what Hamza does, his tactics. Slowly but surely, these guys will be exposed. If you guys don't know, there's a YouTube channel by the name of Debate Analyzer. I think he has like the Crimson Chin profile picture. He just exposed Muslim Lantern. Muslim Lantern literally created a fake short of Jay Dyer and tried to make it seem like Jay Dyer was saying that the Bible was corrupted or something like that. That was bad. That was bad. So Muslim Lantern is now out here lying, creating fake clips. And so I mean, this is insane.
Hey, Logic, is it too late to send it now? I just looked at my phone now, Logic.
Yeah, I just sent it to him. He said he about to start in 5 minutes. Is this the sneak up one?
Yeah, this is the him. He's gonna have Jay Dyer. He's gonna have Sam Shimon on. They're gonna be calling out Sneeko, Ibn Fibbin, all of them. Any actual Muslim apologist that wants to join that live stream, you got 3 of the top apologists that you can come and take your shot at, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, we almost had Logic up here with us for the last 15 minutes too. If I would have been smart enough to look at my phone when we're on live, although. Why wouldn't you just put into the chat, send me the link? We probably would have seen it then.
Right. Problem solved right there. I looked at my phone. I was like, oh, that was like 20 minutes ago.
Yes, I just looked at my phone too. He messaged me like 15, 20 minutes ago as well. All right. But with saying that, this is the first time that I was able to have life up on my channel. Thank you so much, brother, for coming in. And you know what? Thank you, brother, for doing what you're doing, because there's not many people that can go into the hoods and go to where you're going and to preach to the people that you're preaching. And these are truly the people that need it, because they're being so deceived by Islam. Yeah. They don't even know about Aisha or anything. Like, it's amazing work that you're doing, brother.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you. I had I just thought about it, and this is where I grew up. And I mean, it is dangerous. I'll give you that. It is dangerous. The guy that I pulled up on that left Islam, I didn't know him at all. I literally didn't know him at all. I just put the DM out there, and he was like, "Let's do it. Let's link up." So I had no idea how that conversation was gonna go. Never seen him a day in my life until that video. So he could have came with some people. He could have came with some other Muslims. They could have been mad about what I was presenting. I was by myself, which is probably dumb, but I was just ready. I was just ready. It's like, I gotta, I'm out here to do this work. I'm in California on business right now, but I have some free time. So whenever I have free time and I go to the Bay Area, I either go to Castro Street, which is a predominantly LGBT area, go try to get some conversations with them over there. That's why I was able to talk to the LGBT priests. And then I'll travel around certain masjids and see if I can catch some people outside and get some conversations. And then I just thought about it like, man, let me see if I could talk to some of my brothers. And that's exactly what I started doing. So that's going to be a reoccurring thing. I'm going to keep going out there, going to masjids in the hood, predominantly black neighborhoods, and I'm going to go try to have some conversations with some people. But Logic is going to be with me too. So I ain't going to do it. I had to do it by myself because he was in San Diego destroying Central.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically it. But man, God bless you. I appreciate it, Chris. Thank you for having me on. Send me the stream link when you want to go over his Mark 16 claims.
Yes, I definitely will, brother. If you're free tomorrow morning, you can join me tomorrow morning, but it'll probably be early your time, like 8 o'clock in the morning, early your time.
Okay. All right. Just you said tomorrow?
Yeah.
8 in the morning tomorrow. Text me. I'll set my alarm. Yeah, just text me.
All right, we'll do that. And the reason why I wanted to say this about life and to have life up here, because y'all don't know life. I met life back on Clubhouse with Logic and everyone else. And life got to a point on Clubhouse where he's like, I'm done. I'm done talking with Muslims. I'm done with this stuff. I ain't dealing with this anymore. He started doing a little bit of music, and then he ended up doing the documentary.
Mm.
I think that documentary brought you back in.
Yeah.
But it was always God's plan to have life, going to where he's going and preaching the gospel to who he's supposed to be preaching to. Because even when life said himself that he did not want to do it anymore, what is he doing today?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is why we know that it's spirit driven, brother. Just keep doing what you're doing, brother.
And before you close, I'm glad that you said that. That's insane that you said that, because it's God and it's you guys. It's you guys and honestly Logic. So when I said I quit, I was still working with Logic. So I was like, I'm done debating, but I'm still putting up Logic clips, cutting up content, helping with the Logic stuff in the background, helping him set up his stuff. And so I'm around all of this, the conversation, and I'm starting to see how the conversation developed and how the dollar script is starting to update. And, you know, Clubhouse shut down and now we moved over to TikTok. Now we get a whole new wave of Muslims. And now I'm like, Logic was just like, man, you got to get on TikTok. I'm like, nah, I'm cool, bro. I'm good. He's like, trust me, just get on there. It's a whole new wave of Muslims. And then it just happened, bro. And then I got sucked back into it because I was never fully out. I was just in the background. And I was just like, man, I can't just sit here and just keep listening to this stuff, bro. Like, I'm clipping content and it's like, I'm clipping content, but it's like, I'm responding to it as I'm clipping it. And it's like, if I'm going to respond to a video clip, why don't I just respond to an actual Muslim? So I got back into it, but I always told myself, I will never put myself through what I put myself through on Clubhouse.
Yeah, no more Roccos.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was just back and forth insanity. It's like, no, y'all come to our playing field. We come to your playing field here and there, but y'all are dealing with us now. On Clubhouse, I used to go into Muslim rooms all day. All day. And get mistreated, mass muted, kicked out, talked about, lied on. That's what made me want to quit. So it's a whole new formula now, and you know, I'm here to stay. I'm not gonna ever quit. You know,
and that's how you know it's spirit driven. You tried to get away from it once, and it drew you right back in. So, and just one more comment here from the chat before we end up shutting down. He says, "Life, I'm equally learning a lot from you, sir. God bless you all fighting this deadly cult."
God bless you, Clement. God bless you.
Amen. Because, and it's not even just the arguments, but it's the way that we discuss with other people. So when you see Life sit down with his brothers out there in the parks and everything and having those discussions, watch how he interacts with them. Watch how he carries the conversation. Watch how he changes it from one thing to another and how he leads the conversation. Then when you're having that same conversation, you're going to see how to maneuver the conversation the same way that Life or Logic or me or Sam or Jay or anybody else is doing it, right? But with saying that, I want to thank everyone for showing up here, giving me your time on this wonderful Friday. But y'all better get on over to GodLogic, and I better shut down because I'm starting to leave people because I know they're going over to Logic stream. But let's get on over to Logic stream. So I'm going to shut this down the same way I normally do. There's only one God, and that is the true triune God of Scripture. There's only one way to paradise, y'all, and that is through our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And abortion is murder. God bless y'all, and I will see you tomorrow morning.